Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is 10 issues I have with my Cybertruck after 1 year of ownership. I wish I knew these things before I bought it, but I went through it so you don't have to. I've also owned almost every single Tesla in the product lineup. I even have solar roof. So watch this video to the very end because I'm gonna hit on some really important topics. If you're considering purchasing Tesla products, this is the video to watch. Let's run right into issue number 1, range. This thing has a massive pooper. But how much does it cost to charge a Cybertruck? And also, how far is that charge gonna take you? So how far can you get on a Tesla Cybertruck? The website states about 325 miles EPA, so that's the estimated range. I usually get about 220. I drive a little aggressively, but I actually did charge my vehicle for 300 miles of range the other day, paid $50. We all know it's not 300 miles, so if you drive a little aggressively, just expect to get a little less range. Now, I chose to daily drive a Cybertruck as my normal car, which is kind of crazy. But if you are a truck guy and you like to go, or girl, and you like to go all the way around the world and do all your things with your truck, you might be filling up a little bit more than a normal truck. So the range is okay, but it could be better. It does seem that Tesla is offering a range extender on their website. So if you do find yourself needing a little bit more range and you have the money to shell out, go ahead and pay them. So speaking of money, let's talk about issue number 2, and that's pricing. So I'm gonna sit right here in my front, but hold on, let me just, oh my God. Oh my God, my guitar. So pricing when purchasing a Tesla can be a tricky subject because the price of a Tesla can go up or down any given day of the week. So you could make or lose money on your Tesla purchase, almost like a stock. It's really weird, right? So when I purchased the Cybertruck, it was about $100,000. So now, if you look on the Tesla website, it's worth only $74,490 at the time of filming this video. God knows what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? Well, the first thing to mention is that you cannot haggle at a Tesla location. There's no bartering for the price of your vehicle like a normal car dealership. But what it does mean is that the price of the vehicle is list, but still malleable. So like, let's say if Elon Musk wants to make a joke on Twitter, your car might depreciate $5,000 in a day. But what are you gonna do, right? You make a decision as an adult, so make sure you purchase your vehicle at the right time. Oh geez, I need a car wash. So as some of you might notice, my truck is a little dirty, and I'm so sorry about that, but it's purely for educational purposes, I promise. My third issue with this truck is washing it and keeping it clean, my God. Let's talk about it. Some of you may have noticed that a lot of Cybertrucks have fingerprints on them, but mine doesn't. Not as much anyway, because it's wrapped. It has a vinyl wrap that can cost anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 depending on where you go. Thankfully, this has helped keep my vehicle clean on the sides, but when it comes to the windshield, where we have this massive windshield wiper, which doesn't fully do the job, and the passenger will see a little bit of dirt on their end, so it's kind of hard to keep that bit clean unless you take it to a wash. Now we got to look at the back here. The tonneau cover made of that black plasticky material, and this bit can also get very dirty. But if I open this up, you also have a bed to take care of. Don't forget about the bed. This can get dirty too. Literally, this thing attracts mud and dirt and fingerprints, and that's because, well, design, but also because you might want to take it off-roading, and it's a truck, and it might get dirty sometimes, and that's okay. Now, issue number 3 is quality, and this vehicle, unfortunately, is riddled with quality issues. I'm switching over to the macro lens here to show you the little cracks in the LED housing. I don't know where those come from, but when you turn on the LED lights, you can't really see them, so it's all right, but kind of looks cheap. If you look up here, and when I'm driving on the freeway at high speeds, that is a lot of squeakiness coming from the headliner. So this is the next quality issue. It's a tonneau cover, which does open now, but it didn't open consistently for the first year of my ownership. So at some point, I think there was a software update. When I went to service, they really didn't have any idea what to tell me about this. And eventually one day it fixed itself. So I'm so lucky that this fixed itself. I'm not sure if it was software or maybe I just got lucky, but that's one of the things that I had problems with. So now it works consistently every single time. So I'm so happy about that. Whether I got lucky or it was a software update, I don't care. Fantastic that it works now. Another quality issue is if you look from the side here on the front end, you'll see this weather stripping, plastic, whatever, seal. I don't know what it is, but it's sticking out, and it always has been sticking out. And somehow I feel like it never gets taken care of when I go to service. But if you look over here, you can also kind of see that this bit doesn't look like it's very put into place. Maybe that's normal, but it feels like it moves a little bit. And I've seen videos online where that whole piece can just come off if you just put a little bit of force and try to peel it, which I don't think should be the case. I think it should be a little bit stronger, especially because this truck is so strong. Also has this door issue, another quality issue, that when I close it, rattles. And this back door has a nice sound. But there are just small things, you know, they're not super serious, but you know, they have to be taken care of. But there are some super serious things like recalls that we need to talk about. Let me show you what I mean. So we have to talk about issue number 4, which is recalls. This pedal was slipping off, coming unadhered with pressure and getting stuck down there. So people were getting stuck in the accelerated mode of their vehicle. You can kind of see that it looks a little flimsy and unfinished down there, but it's not the back end that we're worried about. It's that top piece, because this is 2 pieces, like, apparently. And if you see the little bolt at the bottom, that's Tesla's fix to this issue of it slipping. But that's just one of 6 recalls that I could find on Google's AI overview feature. So let's just go over them real quickly so you know what you're getting yourself into. Now, to be fair, if you're getting a new Cybertruck, it probably isn't gonna have all these issues, because ideally those recalls would have been addressed. But let's talk about it. In my 1 year of ownership, we had faulty drive inverter, accelerator pedal, loose trim, incorrect front size on warning lights, faulty massive front single blade wiper, and rear camera issue. Okay, so let's just say I just picked up my $100,000 truck and then it gets recalled 6 times in a year. That is rough. I mean, it's an AI overview, so let's just say Google might be incorrect. Maybe not all of those are recalls, but you got done spending a ton of money on your brand new cool truck, and unfortunately you have 6 recalls in the span of a year, or at least 6 times that you have to take it into service. Man, that is a lot, and that's just not a passing grade for me. That's rough. But we need to talk about service, because that's issue number 5. So let's talk about service. Here's my service appointment. And 2 days before my service appointment, I was getting ready to go in, and Tesla pushes out my appointment a couple weeks, stating they don't have the parts. I don't know which parts that they were talking about, because some of those service items are things that I purchased that need to be installed at Tesla. That's fine. There's just a ton of things that are just service issues, and I'm tired of it. Like, I don't really want to deal with it, but I have to. I have to go in on Christmas Eve at 8 a.m. to retrofit frunk aero seal, to clean windshield B surface camera area, to replace wiper motor assembly, to replace left hand and right hand sail appliques, to install a flat flex cable harness guide, to replace the drive inverters on my new Cybertruck with 12,000 miles on the odometer. It's kind of a lot. Speaking of kind of a lot, our 6th issue is hidden fees. And they're not so hidden anymore, because these tires, 4 of them, after about 13,000 miles of driving, and I'm getting close to the point where they're gonna need replacing, are costing me over $2,000. And that's not the only thing that can get expensive on the Cybertruck. Like I said, charging, because it's a larger battery, was costing me over $50 at a supercharger. I'm sure this windshield wiper blade is not super cheap. Air cabin filters that you need to change in the vehicle after a year are not super cheap. To be fair, it's not a super cheap truck, but some parts of it do feel like it. Okay, just one cool thing real quick, one good thing. You can hop on this tonneau cover, stand up on your roof, and get a better view. Look at them all driving by. I bet you wish you could stand on your roof. Just kidding. Look, I wrote it down because it's a lot of stuff to remember, but hidden fees associated with owning a Cybertruck. Registration for the Foundation series was about $1,300, I think. That is so much. Insurance is more than a normal car, of course. That's going to depend on the individual person, so I'm not going to mention how much I pay for insurance. Your results may vary. The key card, which Tesla sold me one at a service center for 40 bucks, It's 2 on their website for 40 bucks, I think. Still, it's a piece of plastic. It is probably so cheap to make. We already talked about the charging. It's a little bit more expensive because the battery's bigger and you're gonna be waiting for longer to get your car charged. Just a heads up. I know my vehicle came with FSD and that's one of the reasons it costed more, but I don't think it's worth $25,000 more. Let's talk about issue number 7. That is FSD. Oh my God, I wanna love it so much, but sometimes, especially the other day, it almost drove me and my buddy through a red light. So I don't think it's worth the money that it's being charged right now. I will just say that like, that's an ongoing issue for me and a struggle. I love and hate FSD. When I'm telling you that this software, while I'm driving, of course, I'm taking care, I have my hands on the wheel, almost drove me through a red light with my buddy in the car while I'm trying to tell him how cool this car is and get him to buy a Tesla. It just wasn't a good look. And I just have this, like I said, love and hate relationship with full self-driving. Like I wanna love you, but you need to be better. Hopefully we get to that place where it's just like good enough that I don't have to complain about it anymore. Issue number 8 is wireless charging, not just for the Cybertruck, but pretty much any Tesla. The wireless charger does work. So if I put my phone here, it's gonna light up, it's gonna do the thing. But I will say that it doesn't charge very quickly and it also gets super hot on my phone. So, you know, it just doesn't work that well. Issue number 9 is actually my favorite feature of the vehicle, which is steer-by-wire, which is this system that allows the vehicle to turn more sensitively at lower speeds. Less effort involved with turning this wheel, especially for me. That's awesome because my hand is kind of hurt. But I will just say that like, yeah, it's a great thing, but when I get back into a normal car, like I want to drive my dad's car or any other Tesla for that matter, they don't have steer-by-wire. I feel really weird turning the wheel. Like I feel like I'm doing something wrong or I have to overcompensate. So it's a good thing, but then if you want to drive any other car, it's a bad thing. So issue number 9. Issue number 10 is the way this truck looks.
'Cause you're ugly.
Which I love, but most people don't. A lot of people think it looks ugly. And that's not something that bothers me particularly, except when it starts to affect my life. So earlier I mentioned the price of this windshield would be really expensive to replace. And that's because somebody threw a brick at my windshield and gouged out 2 pieces here. They're just not the same as they used to be. Unfortunately, they messed up my windshield a little bit. My buddy was parked next to me and they threw the brick at the top of their car too. And I'm almost sure it was because they were parked next to me. And I feel so bad about that, that because of my car's looks and the way people feel about this car, it's so controversial. People will mention to you how ugly this looks, that they don't like it. And if you drove any other vehicle, that probably wouldn't be your experience. But I just wanted to let you know, get ready to be treated differently because you're driving this car. It can be a good thing, but it also could be a really expensive and bad thing for you and your friends potentially. That's just been my experience. Now that they're becoming more popular on the road, maybe it won't be that big of a deal anymore. Maybe you won't run into some of the same issues that I did, because ideally they would be taken care of by now. But I really hope that this video provided value to your life, potentially before you make a big purchase as well. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.